Nice, baby. Just a good old jig. 3/4 ounce. Yep, yep. Love that. Oh, it's a beautiful red. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, baby. Don't want to come in. Beautiful, beautiful. Gorgeous. That's my 3/4 ounce head right there. Same thing as my 1/2 ounce and 3/8. Got a good tide flowing, about 12 feet deep, casting into about 2 foot, letting it work down that bank, you know? But what happens is that tide, when that water's flowing real good, my 1/2 ounce jig just don't get down there, so you just need a little heavier weight. And I wanted to get my heavier weights, and I felt like this was a really good place to come give them a test. I'm just casting right up on there, just letting it sink. If you can catch some reds on them like that, just kind of watching my line as it's sinking down, because that's about 10 feet right there. You know, we're sitting in 15 foot of water. So I just flip it in there, and I don't keep any tension on that line in the beginning. I just let it go. And my jig goes straight down. That way I know where I'm at. I can stay efficient. That way I can detect a bite even better. I mean, dude, it's freaking 8 feet deep right next to the bank. I love how that ounce goes through that. There it is. Okay. God damn. I can see that line going, toom, toom. That's freaking awesome, dude. Love it. Beautiful red shit. Gorgeous. This is what I'm trying to do here with this. I'm trying to find out, you know, that's beautiful. But what I like to see is that hook set right in the head. Right there, right in the top of the head. Through the weed gourd, you know, boom, beautiful fish. These are reds too now, so you gotta think, it's a much smaller mouth than a bass. So when a bass inhales that, oh yeah. That's why I like testing my jigs on reds. It's beautiful, man. Good stuff, man. So this ain't the kind of bait that you want to let it sit in that when that fish bites it. It's heavy. It's an ounce, you know. It's just strictly for flipping fast. You know, you could flip this stuff in deep grass, 14 foot. Say you're out in Toledo Bend fishing 6 Mile or something like that, you know, where they got freaking grass that goes 10, 12, 14 feet deep, 20 foot deep. You can put this 1 ounce jig and you could punch up in that stuff. But bruh, when you get a bite, you gotta set it pretty quick because they're not playing around. They're not gonna keep it in their mouth as long as they would a little bitty, lightweight, kind of finesse with a little worm or a little soft plastic. They might keep it in there a little longer. This is a heavier weight. So as soon as that jig slid down through them reeds, there was a freaking red sitting there waiting on it. I seen that line go shoom. I didn't even want to feel them, just wanted to set the hook. And I like how that hook set came straight in the top of the head. That's good stuff. You know, right now you could probably get away with a little 1/2 ounce, but I'm out here trying to figure out my jigs. I'll get the heads painted and all that. These are just my samples. I like how this 1 ounce is going through the stuff. It's going through the reeds real nice. That's not bad. I didn't even have my damn, I didn't even have my hooks. Oh. What the hell? Some of this was in them weeds. Gorgeous, man. Red number 2 on the 1.5 ounce. Tell you what, if you're throwing a heavy flipping stick, baby, you gotta flip it on a big one. Right in the top of the head, bro. That's beautiful. That means my weed guard is good because I'm getting through cover, okay? That means I'm getting through that cover real good, but I'm still able to set the hook. And my drag was even, my drag was not set right. Beautiful. Loving this, I'm loving it. That's good stuff. You know, out here in Venice, when the river's low like it is, man, you could catch fish any way you want. You can come out here with some popping corks and, you know, just pop the hell out of them and, you know, pick some fish up like that, limit out, you can go all over. I'm more of a bass and redfish guy, but you could come out here and kind of pick your poison. That's why I chose now to test out these jigs, you know. I wanted to make sure that I can set the hook right and my weed guard's good and I can get through in and out of that cover and yo-yo it in there. And when I need to get it out, if I pull it out real nice and easy, I can get through that cover. It's not just gonna, the weed guard isn't gonna bend too far and just have me getting hung up on everything, you know? Because don't get it twisted, a jig is weedless, but it's a little bit less weedless than like a Texas rig punching style. But man, there's just something about jig fishing that I just love, you know? Down here in Venice, you can come out here and do almost any damn thing you want when the water's right. So I choose this place to really throw my big stuff. Plus that tide's flowing through here, and man, that ounce jig's moving a little bit. You wouldn't even think that tide would move it, but man, that tide will flow. It's only dropping like, you know, 0.8 feet today, but it's flowing right now. And we got a little water from the river. The river will push you, create some current too. That's why I picked this area when I'm flipping out here, because even if the tide ain't really moving, I believe that river will create some current. Even if it's not much, you know, a little bit is better than none. What the hell, how does that even happen? Oh. Sometimes that fishing line, man, I'll tell you what, you're like, how in the hell does that even happen? Oh, bro, I just punched right in that. You know, the best way that I found that you're gonna do the best when you're punching and getting all up in that stuff is you want the lightest weight possible. you know, because you just want to make as least amount of racket as possible in these little secluded areas. But sometimes you just get into some stuff that's such a thick shelf, you make more racket trying to wiggle a 3/4 ounce in there than just sliding a 1 ounce or 1.5 ounces and just letting it get down there. I like to kind of approach a place like this and just really be able to get my lure in a little pocket and let it just slide down. And as it slides down, I can watch that line. And a lot of times you'll get a bite, you won't feel it when you're letting that jig fall. You know, you don't have to keep a tight line the whole time. You just have to know how to detect a bite. So even that 1 ounce, I'm having to shake it around and wiggle it a little bit, find a little slot. But it's doing good. The 1 ounce block and lock is doing good. When you approach a punching mat or some reeds, the first thing you want to do is hit the outside of it. Don't go right up in the meat of it unless you're on your pattern. You know, once you're in your pattern and you're like, all right, the sun's out, they literally right under there, I'm not messing around. But dude, if you can take a cast or two and just throw to the outside of that mat, that outside of that vegetation first, if you can pick one off and get them out of there fast, you still leave the inside, the meat of that mat open. Once you get in the meat of it and you pull one out, if there was another one in there, you might have spooked him, and you might not have spooked him if you popped one off from the outsides. It's just an approach. It's just my opinion. And I ain't no pro. I'm just an average Joe. And look, you can come down to Venice. You ain't got to do this, you know, flipping in 12 foot of water. I just like it. If I could find a canal with a steep, deep side, you can work a plethora of lures and figure something out. I just like a steep side. I don't know. I like it. I want to see how they go through cover. So this is my favorite here. Nothing but just vegetation and steep banks and fast acting fish, man. Like when they hit it, they hit it. They don't play around. How was my skirt holding up through all that wear and tear, you know? Another good thing about a heavier weight, you can work an area faster. You can really cover it better. You know, I can get it in there and then I can just pull it right out. Get in, hit another area, hit another little spot. That's good. I've started to catch some. I was missing some. I don't know if that was a small one. You know, it could have been a little rat red. They got some rat reds and stuff. They'll freaking smoke your freaking bait, man. Pulling off claws and all that, you know. And they'll fight too now. Ain't nothing wrong with coming out here busting out a bunch of rat reds and a few good ones. Another good thing about a heavier weight that I like is an inaccurate cast. That was a hit. You didn't hit right where you wanted. It's a little more forgiving because it'll find its own slot. It'll find it. A little hit. Bit off a little piece of my claw. Ain't too bad. Top of the head though. That's good. Come on, bro. Oh, ladyfish. Messed up my boat. Messy, boy. Got him. Little fucking rat red again. But it's all good.